Hey guys, it's Miss Simpson, and we are going to talk about the carbon dioxide and the oxygen cycle today. So, just like the water cycle, how water goes through a cycle, we have the carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. And it sounds a little bit scary, but let's go ahead and I'm going to tell you what the cycle is. I'm going to explain each of the parts, and then we'll go over the cycle again so you get it. So, first, we're going to start off with this cute little cow. So first we have an animal. It could be a human. It could be an animal, but they breathe out carbon dioxide that the plants need for photosynthesis. So that carbon dioxide, breathe it out, and it goes to the plants. So then the plants go through a process called photosynthesis, and they release oxygen during photosynthesis. That oxygen goes into the atmosphere, and the animal breathes in the oxygen. So we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants need that carbon dioxide, and they go through a process called photosynthesis. And they take that oxygen, release it into the atmosphere, and we breathe in the oxygen the plants create. So I don't know if you've ever seen or heard somebody get mad when they're like, they are cutting down all of those trees. Why would they be cutting down all of those trees? We don't want them to cut down all of those trees. Well, trees produce oxygen. We breathe in oxygen. So the less plants we have, the less oxygen that we have, and we need oxygen to survive. So people get mad. It hurts our environment when you cut down way too many trees. So, again, the plant makes oxygen, releases it into the atmosphere. Plant or animals and humans, we breathe in the oxygen, we let out carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide goes to the plants, they go through photosynthesis, and the process starts all over again. So I'm going to go ahead and explain to you what is oxygen, what is carbon dioxide, and what is photosynthesis. So what is carbon dioxide? Carbon dioxide is a gas that is produced by something called respiration. And that is what happens when humans and animals breathe. So when you go like this, that is carbon dioxide that comes out of your mouth. Not all of it is carbon dioxide, but the majority of it is carbon dioxide. So I want everybody to take in a big breath. Hold it. You just breathed in oxygen. Now, I want you to breathe out that breath. So oxygen, carbon dioxide. So when you breathe out, that's carbon dioxide, and it is called respiration. So what's oxygen? Oxygen is a gas that forms about 20% of Earth's atmosphere, and it is produced by plants through a process called photosynthesis. So we breathe in oxygen, we let out carbon dioxide. Photosynthesis, that is what plants go through in order to make our oxygen. It is photosynthesis is a process that is used by plants. They convert light energy from the sun into a chemical energy that can be used by other organisms. So during photosynthesis, plants take in sunlight, they take in water, and they turn energy into sugar, which is used as food for the plant, and oxygen, which is released into the atmosphere. So in this carbon dioxide cycle, we breathe out carbon dioxide, and the plant takes in the sunlight, it takes in the water, and it produces energy, and it produces oxygen for us to use that is released into the atmosphere. So this is a little picture of how photosynthesis works. So here's our plant in the middle. It's taking in the water, it's taking in the carbon dioxide, it's taking in the light energy, it's taking in the minerals, and it is pushing out glucose and oxygen. So oxygen goes into the atmosphere, and glucose is used for energy within the plant. So that's the plant's food. And that is how our plants are our producers in food chains, because they create their own food through photosynthesis. So they take in that light energy, they take in carbon dioxide and water and minerals, they make their own food. Animals eat the plants, and that is how the food chain happens. But also plants give off oxygen, and that's how those animals and us, that's how we breathe. So pretty cool how all of this is kind of goes in a little circle. We need plants, and we need the sun to survive. Without plants, without the sun, we wouldn't be here. So here is a picture of the carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. And I need you to take a mental screenshot of this, or an actual screenshot, because on your assignment today, you have just about the same thing. you are going to have to fill in the blanks. And it's basically the same thing. Mine's just in color. So let's start. Animals take in oxygen. Let's start with plants. Plants produce oxygen into the atmosphere. Animals take in that oxygen. Animals breathe out the carbon dioxide. Plants take in the carbon dioxide. So really, if you can remember, we breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants use it, create oxygen, and then the animals take in oxygen, and it starts all over again. Breathe out carbon dioxide. Plants use carbon dioxide to make oxygen. We breathe in oxygen, and then we let out carbon dioxide. And that is how it keeps going and keeps going. So take a mental screenshot of this because you will need this for your assignment today, and you will label the carbon dioxide cycle. Okay, so let's go back to this nifty little anchor chart that I have for you, and it is the carbon dioxide oxygen cycle. Let's start one more time, and let's talk about what happens in this cycle. Let's start with the animal this time. So animals breathe out carbon dioxide that plants use for photosynthesis. During photosynthesis, the plant gets water and it gets light energy and it gets that carbon dioxide and it makes the sugar, the glucose, which is the energy it needs to survive, but also it makes oxygen. So that oxygen is released into the atmosphere and animals breathe in that oxygen. And then guess what the animal does? They go and they let out carbon dioxide. The plant takes in that carbon dioxide. Plants don't breathe, but it lets out, it creates oxygen, releases it into the atmosphere, and the animals breathe it in. Let's do it one more time together. So I want you right now, we're going to be the animal. I want you to, we let out carbon dioxide. The plant takes in the carbon dioxide. The plant lets out the oxygen. It released into the atmosphere, and the animals breathe in the oxygen. Let out the carbon dioxide. Plants take in the carbon dioxide. They let out the oxygen into the atmosphere, and then animals breathe in the oxygen. How crazy is that? It's a big cycle, and basically we can do it just in our room, especially if you have plants, but also you're breathing. And so the carbon dioxide and oxygen cycle happens basically every single time you take a breath. You're letting out carbon dioxide and you're taking in oxygen. All right, so today for your assignment, I already showed it to you, and it has arrows, it has lines, and it has little animals. So you start with the animal and tell me, what does the animal do? Lets out carbon dioxide. And then it goes and the plant takes in the carbon dioxide. Then the plant, it's actually a tree. The tree creates the oxygen and the animal breathes in the oxygen. So I want you to label your carbon dioxide oxygen cycle paper, and I want you to turn it in. I am not going to put a answer key down below, not really answer key, but a anchor chart, that's what I meant to say, down below because I want you to have this memorized, and it's really not a hard one to memorize because it's all about breathing in and breathing out. You just have to remember the names. All right, when you get that done, take a picture, turn it in, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.